Hello, and welcome to I'll Knit With You. My name is Rebecca. You can find me on Ravelry, Instagram, or Steam as EvilTwin2. You can find show notes on the blog, illknitwithyou.blogspot.com. You can come join our Ravelry group if you search for I'll Knit With You, or you can email me at illknitwithyou@gmail.com. Hi guys, how are all my owls and my yous? I didn't podcast last week, but it's because I've only been working on one thing, and that's a really short, boring 4-minute show. So now I feel like I had things to show you. Sorry for missing a week, but I've been doing really good, I feel like, you know? So it's all good. I did a lot of fun stuff these last 2 weeks. I've seen The Intruder, which is not a great movie, but it's still kind of fun to watch, I guess. It's the one with Dennis Quaid where he sells his home to a lovely couple and then keeps showing up and won't leave them alone. It was definitely interesting. I saw Detective Pikachu and John Wick 3. I've been calling it Constantine 3 like over and over because Keanu Reeves also starred in Constantine, the movie, not the TV show. And so in my head, like, it's the same thing, even though the movies aren't even close to the same thing. I don't know what that's about. So I saw John Wick 3, and those were both really good. I think I like John Wick 2 better, but John Wick 3, still pretty amazing. And Detective Pikachu was incredible. Oh my gosh, I was blown away by Detective Pikachu. Notes are down here. I reread the Caravel series because the finale just came out. So there's 3 books. It's a trilogy, and it's by Stephanie Garber. And it's set in a world where I guess you'd call this fantasy. There's like magic and stuff. But this young girl has always wanted to go to this certain carnival called Caravel. And it's hosted by this person who might be a magician or a wizard, or might just be a regular person. And she ends up going, and nothing is what it seems, and it's really intriguing and amazing. I love the first book. The second book gets you to the third book, and I think I really enjoyed the ending. It's hard to tell when you binge read something if you've enjoyed it or you've just survived it. And I think I really enjoyed it. I think I really appreciated how everything ended, because sometimes, you know, endings of books especially, because there's so many people going on and so many back characters that, like, you don't feel like it was satisfying. I think this was a pretty satisfying finale, and I appreciate that it's 3 books and not like 19 books long. So that's pretty amazing. I also watched the TV show The OA. It's on Netflix. It's about an older woman, not older, someone probably around my age who wants to tell these stories, and you don't know if they're true or not. And it's a very interesting show. It gets a little further out there than I expected it to, but I really liked the whole show. Yeah, they dive into some unexpected realms in that show. Let's put it that way. I've also been watching Chernobyl on HBO, because I keep seeing ads for it when I've been watching Game of Thrones. And it's really amazing to watch because I think it's pretty accurate. I don't know how accurate it is, but I mean, Chernobyl was whenever the nuclear power plant kind of fell apart, and you know, all these ashes and everything were radioactive, and people didn't realize how bad it was. So, or at least people who knew weren't telling people who didn't know how bad it was, like the townsfolk and stuff like that. And so you're watching this show, and you know, as someone who lives in 2019, what happened. And so you're just like, oh, don't touch it. Just go away. But they don't know, and it's crazy. It's so hard to watch moments where they're interacting with the stuff, but the rest of the time you're just fascinated by the science and, you know, just the whole story of the whole thing. It's very interesting. Aside from what I've been watching and reading, I've had some crazy drama here in my little apartment. I order stuff from Amazon, as everyone does, and I've been having packages stolen. It's awful. I didn't lose anything except for some stuff from Amazon and some blank t-shirts, because, you know, I have a Cricut and I do iron-on stuff. And so I realized there's Amazon lockers, which, if you've never heard of Amazon lockers, they're kind of like having a P.O. box with Amazon, but it's not a consistent one. So, like, I pick an area. Sorry, my ears are itchy. I pick which locker set I want it to be delivered to, and then I'll end up with a locker there. If I have something delivered next time, it'll be a different locker based on the package size, which is nice. And so then I just go and I type in my code, or I can scan a barcode they send me, and my door opens, and there you go. If you've ever gone to a amusement park in the summer, and you go to, like, for me, the water park area where you have lockers and stuff, the one I like in Santa Claus, Indiana, called Holiday World, has the barcode scanning lockers where the doors just open based on your barcode. There's no keys, which is really nice. So I don't know if other amusement parks have that now that I've said it, but that one does, and it's pretty low tech for an amusement park. So I feel like if they have it, other people would have it too. Anyway, Amazon Locker has been working great. I have a package there now, but there's one more thing that should be arriving tonight. So rather than make the trip twice today, because it arrived late last night, I'm just gonna go walk over there and get it all at once. But yeah, it's disappointing, you know. Amazon's really great about doing refunds, which I appreciate, but it's disappointing to feel like now my stuff isn't safe here. There's no problem getting things delivered to work, which is nice, and my friends who housed me have they've had issues once or twice with packages, but not very often. So if I wanted to get it delivered closer, I can do that. And my landlords are super sweet and have been pulling in the packages that do arrive for me, and then I just talk to them and get it from them, which is pretty, I mean, it's not best case scenario, because sometimes I get home pretty late from work or whatever, or I go see all these movies and I get home at like 10 o'clock and I don't want to bother them then. So, you know, it'll work out, and I just have to be more aware, I guess. So, it's not the best, but not the worst. Game of Thrones show finale is tonight. I'm super excited. My friends are coming over. I'm making cracked chicken in my Instant Pot for us all to enjoy, so that should be delicious. It's cream cheese and ranch powder, and I want to say some chicken stock, and then you add bacon and cheddar cheese when you simmer it, and then and there's chicken breasts that you shred up and put in there too. So it's pretty good stuff. I like it on crackers. Some people put it on a bun, and that just doesn't seem, I don't know, doesn't seem right to me. How dare you? I have all sorts of things to show you. I have a couple of arts and crafts things, but they're not exactly knitting things, but they are fun things, so I'm going to show them to you. My knitting friends that I made at SSK last year, we still talk a lot, I mention them every so often, but I decided we needed matching bags, and so I made us matching bags, and they say, since I'm making these not for sale, just for within my friend group and stuff like that, I picked an image that I think Lion Brand posted. I'm not selling them, so it's not a copyright issue. I'm making them just for like my personal use and for some small gifts. It says Knit Happens. So one friend requested a teal, one friend requested a gold, and the rest of them are in this black sparkle. Can you see how sparkly that is? I don't know if it'll show up on camera or not. Vinyl, and I had made these all with my just a hand iron. One of the things I had delivered was a Cricut Easy Press. So I found out that on Amazon they have what's called renewed. So it's kind of like refurbished. I don't really know what the difference is, except for maybe the word refurbished holds some weird connotations, and so they call it renewed instead of refurbished. But they have renewed Easy Presses for a massive discount based on the new Easy Press price. Michael's was having a sale, and I was like, because they just added a whole, hold on, let me back up. Cricut added a thing. Cricut and Michael's are working together, and now they have a whole aisle that's just Cricut stuff in every Michael's. It was like a thing they rolled out a couple of weeks ago. And so Michael's is having a sale, and I was like, ooh, they have these Easy Presses on sale. Maybe it'll be worth it. And then I was like, I wonder how much they are on Amazon, and I can get it, you know, not even on sale, but significantly less cost than I can just through Michael's. Now, I don't mind getting something refurbished because it just means it's been looked over and double-checked a lot. Some people don't like refurbished things. That's up to you. But for me, the money savings is worth it. I'm not going to be doing mass production, so I don't need to live up to like some mega high standard. But I did all of these bags with my regular hand iron. And then I made this one in honor of the Game of Thrones tonight. It says Dracarys, but it kind of looks like the Adidas logo. Adidas logo? How do you say that? It makes sense. Yep. I'm just going to say it's right. I found this on Etsy, this image, and then I bought it through Etsy and ironed it on. I had some trouble getting my stuff to stick with my Easy Press. I saw that the package that it was in, that the HTV, the heat transfer vinyl was in, had information on the heat settings and the time, and I had overdone the time, and so my stuff was peeling off. And I had one bag I tried to make that melted, because I made 3 different images and only this one came out. The second one, I cut it and I applied it, but it melted, which means that things kind of warped and didn't look right. And I've never had that happen before. And then the third one is I cut the image and then I thought that I was supposed to pick off some parts, but I was picking off the wrong parts. So like on this one, all of these stripes here, I mean, this was all one big piece, but all like the O's and the letters and stuff. So imagine if I had just left the O's and the letters, like the image wouldn't make sense. The word wouldn't make sense. And so on this other one, I had taken off the wrong parts and I was like, I don't want to cut this again right now. I'm just so mad. I don't want to do it. I just, threw it away. But I bought the files through Etsy, so I can recut them whenever I want. So yeah, maybe I'll make those eventually, but I need to buy more heat transfer vinyl. I don't have very much. I bought a set of a bunch of multicolors, which is what this one is, and it only wants me to have the iron on there for 10, or the easy press on there for 10 seconds, and which is weird because some of the charts I'm seeing say 30 seconds for like regular, so I don't know what to do. So I'm still acclimating to everything and learning everything because, even though it's supposed to make life easier, there's a lot of learning. But the nice thing is that with this, ironing this with an iron, I had to do the words, then I had to do this section, and then I had to do this section, and I had some issues where like, okay, well, I didn't do this part or whatever, like I would miss a section. And with this one, it's one big flat surface, because I got the big one because it was so much cheaper on Amazon. So it covers the whole section. I just press once, and so it's evenly pressed. There's not like weird creases from the iron. So I like that. There's just creases from the bag where I didn't iron the bag, but whatever. Another thing is, I've discovered artisanal watercolors, which is totally a thing. If you check out the watercolors hashtag on Instagram, you'll find out some stuff. But, I had bought like little tubes of watercolors to make some stuff for my house. And realized that I could buy a watercolor palette and fill it with the artisanal stuff that I'd gotten through Etsy, and then with the watercolors I wanted to make a palette out of. So that was one of the things that got stolen, was the empty watercolor palette, and I was so eager to get it. It was kind of a bummer. So I've made this watercolor palette. I don't think these will fall out, but most of these are tubed things. These two up here you can tell are really small. So those are the little sample pieces I got. So I just popped them off the piece of paper that I came on and stuck them in these. And then this is like the watercolor chart that I just threw on the floor. So I can see what all the colors are because these just all look dark to me. They don't look like any one color. And sometimes the blues are really purples or whatever. I had a lot of problem with the paint when it dried. It cracked. But I don't know very much about all this yet. And I figure when I paint with it, like swirling water and my brush around will kind of re-adhere some parts. So, I mean, I'm not doing this for anyone but myself. And I mostly use it for my bullet journal. So, I like to have some boxes to write in for the next week, so I paint little boxes. And I don't know, it just makes me really happy and brings me a lot of joy. So that's one fun thing I've done for myself this week is paint tiny boxes in a notebook. But whatever. I do have some blobbins. We haven't had blobbins in forever. So for the Harry Potter Knit and Crochet House Cup, there was recently a Quidditch match, which is like a short term, less than a month, or can be longer than a month, just depending on what's happening. I'm really chatty today, sorry. It had to be a set of 3 of something, or, 3 plies or whatever. And so you couldn't do chain ply, which I didn't realize at first. So I submitted 3, okay, so I spun a bunch of samples I had, and then I spun a 2-ounce bat that I had. So, let's see, these, which ones are Classy Squid? I think I had 4 Classy Squid samples. This one is Classy Squid Sock. And then these, I don't know what the samples were called. I know that this one was Ractigino, and it's a Star Trek reference. So it's got browns and reds and oranges in it. It's really pretty. It makes me think of like a log on fire. And then there were these other 2, and I couldn't tell what they're named, but they're gorgeous. And just fun, fluffy fiber bits. So I'll probably put these into a blanket somewhere. I mean, that's fun. When I got my hip strings order, they also sent me a sample, and I was really excited to spin that up because their stuff is so soft. So here is that spun up. That was the one that was all blue and white and fluffy. And then I spun Phoenix Fiber Company. I did their bat subscription club for a while. They're just 2-ounce bats, but they're crazy full of weirdness. This one was called Clam Chowder. It's got golds and reds and blues and whites. And there it is. So the way I did this is I spun up all the samples as singles onto one bobbin. I just kept adding them one after another. And then I added this as well. And then I chain plied everything. So, but when I got to a new fiber section, like, okay, well, this is this sample, this is the next sample, then I would stop my chain ply there and start the next chain so that the colors would line up. So that way, each little mini skein or regular half skein is only the fiber that I was spinning. Like, does that make sense? Like, it's all one continuous thing. I didn't muddle them together on purpose. Like this, obviously this white one is all just the white sock sample. And so, yeah, I think it worked out really, really well. This is just over 100 yards, but not much further than that. It's thick and thin. It's kind of a mess. I haven't spun in a while. I really miss it. One of my goals this year is to spin an entire shelf of yarn, or shelf of fiber, which I have one over there. It's just got 2 or 3 bats in it and then some bigger sections. So I think I can do it. I'm not making a huge effort towards it. It's just kind of like, if I feel like spinning, I'll spin. If I feel like knitting, I'll knit. Right now I have a really good plan, but I'll tell you that in just a second. So let's move on to woes and woes. And oh whoa, do I have some stuff to tell you guys. So last podcast, I mentioned that I was doing a test knit, and it is so incredibly addicting. Part of it is addicting because seeing your gradients change color and switching from one color to another color in a gradient is like, I don't know, it's like rolling downhill. It's just exciting and fun, and you can't wait to get the next part. And so I asked the designer just to make sure before I showed it to you that I was allowed to show it to you, and she said I totally am. So let me show you how amazing this is, you guys. So I had 2 of these gradients. They're orange, brown, purple, and teal. So, and then I did 100 grams of this dark blue. So the way it worked, so you can see I've got the blue and the orange, and then it goes blue and brown, and then it goes, purple and brown, and then, oh look, purple and teal, and then there's just a bunch of teal, and then what's gonna happen? Who even knows? So I've just really enjoyed the whole process so far. It's already massive. It's already bigger than my wingspan, which is 5 foot, so it'll probably be a 14-foot shawl, because I'm thinking this is about, maybe that's the end of it. Let me see. Where is the end? There's the end. So if this is my wingspan, okay, and then I have, I think that could be maybe 1.5 foot. We'll call that 1.5 foot. So then my wingspan is 5 foot because your wingspan is your height, so 10 foot. So maybe 13 foot. It'll be big, it'll be warm, it'll be drapey and wonderful. It's not super dense. The needle size is, what are we doing here? We got a size 8. So it's nice and breathable fabric. So yeah. Look how gorgeous. Look, so pretty from back here. I love it. This is so much fun. It's the prettiest day ever. I've been really enjoying it. But it's too big and it's too heavy for my purse. And so it is a home-only project now. Because, you know, it already weighs 200 grams. Plus we've got 50 grams right here. I'm sorry, 100 grams right here. So it's only going to get heavier and heavier and heavier. And that's just a lot to carry around on your shoulders. It's not good for you. So that is my test wrap. I'm sorry, that's my test shawl that I'm knitting for Imagine Landscapes. And I will let you guys know when that's published so you can go snap it up. Then I decided for this term in the Harry Potter Knit and Crochet House Cup, I wanted to do some serious lace. And so I proposed both an owl, which is a 3-month project, and a Order of the Phoenix, which is like kind of about 2 months. So you do 2 half months and 1 full month basically. And I also proposed lace for that. So we'll see if I can even do this. So this, I can't start on my Order of the Phoenix until the 26th of May, and it is today the 19th, so that is not happening yet. But I can't start my owl because I proposed and I was approved, so you can't start until you're approved. And so this is the Sherry Wrap by Amba O'Brien. I'm using Juniper Moon Finley in the Dove colorway, which is the silver here. And then right now I'm using Malabrigo Silkpaca, and I want to say this is the Azul Profundo colorway. I'm going to be changing yarns. I think I talked to you guys about this. So right now I'm this far. It goes lace, not lace, lace, not lace. So it'll just keep repeating, and it gets really, really, really big. So this is also going to be epically massive because I learned this winter that I have a lot of shawls, but what I really want is something like wide and long. Just massive shawls and everything because it gets real stinking cold and my little thin hitchhikers aren't cutting it out here. Now that I'm in the northeast of Americas. So this is going really great actually, and I love it because it's lace, so it's not very heavy. These are only 50 gram size. They're all, are they even 50 gram? I think they are 50 gram. Okay, so, sorry. And then I'm not carrying around the contrast color with me because what I'm doing is I'm knitting this not lace section on the subway, and then I do the lace at home. So, and then there's color changes before and after the lace section. So, yeah, there you can see the lace right there. So it's really beautiful lace, and I'm really excited about how this is going to be epic when it's blocked out. And the more I knit on it, the longer my rows will be, and so the more subway knitting I'll have to do because this. Now, it's just been really crowded the last couple of times I've been on the subway, and so I haven't even had that much chance to knit on it, to be honest. But I have 3 months to make this, so I'm not, like, stressing just yet. We'll get there when we get there. I do have sort of a defeated foe to show you guys. So we've seen my Beekeeper temperature cowl for the Eat Sleep temperature knit along. And you've seen me show you pieces. I finally finished January. So here are my last 3 pieces of January. I'm totally not far behind. It's only May. Oh, crap. I only have to... I want to do the whole year. Let's be honest. You know me. I'm an overachiever. But I have this term of the Harry Potter Knit and Crochet House Cup, and I have a whole other term where I could be mass producing these little bits. So, and plus all my balls of yarn will be smaller by then because I will have continued knitting, so they'll be easier to carry places. Duh. This is going to be so much easier. So, here are the last 3 for this month. It's pretty exciting stuff. I think I've used all of the colors below a certain range. Below maybe 60 degrees. I think I've used every color below 60 degrees. So I'm going to probably try to attach all of these today before my friends come over for Game of Thrones while my stuff is in the Instant Pot. So that way I will have one long span of January, which will be pretty great. So that's not really a defeated foe, but it's kind of a defeated foe because my goal was to finish January by the end of this month. That has been my goal for the last several months, but now it is actually done. So hooray, it counts. And I was waiting to finish January before I turned that in for a class because I wanted to have January kind of wrapped up, and then I'll focus on finishing my test knit, and then by then it'll probably be time for my broom, so I'll cast on my next lace item. So we'll just see how it all goes. I do have some mustache. I mentioned this before. Luckily this did not get stolen. That would have been horrible. Every year Eat Sleep Knit has a theme to their knit-alongs, and they do like it's called a yarn-a-thon, and this theme is around the world. So all of their special colorways, sorry, my landlord just saw me talking to myself. Just talking to myself in the camera. That's totally not weird at all. I'm so embarrassed right now. Anyway, this time's colorway is called, let me collect my thoughts. This yarn-a-thon's around the world, and one of the colorways is New York City, so I had to get it. This is Dream Color to Life Smooshy, and the New York City colorway. It is 85% superwash, 15% nylon. It is 4 ounces, so it's 420 yards, and it is gorgeous. It's these like concretey grays look, but like in a tonal, beautiful kind of way. I don't have a plan for this yet. I am kind of thinking about like a faded sweater, cardigan, something. I don't know. I don't know what I'd put it with yet, but I feel like it'd be like bright colors in the middle and then the grays in the bottom and top. Maybe. You know I love gray. I'll just keep buying gray until I go gray, and then I'll be bored of gray and I'll buy every color. I feel like that's what's going to happen because half my wardrobe will be gray at that point. Sounds about right. Well, the sun is setting. Sounds like what they say to the Hulk. The sun's going down, big guy. Sorry. I've had a little too much caffeine today. So whether you are embarrassed because someone's watching you podcast or you're happily knitting in the peace and quiet of your closed windows home, I'll knit with you. Bye guys. Enjoy the last bit of Game of Thrones if you watch it, and if not, congratulations for surviving the social peer pressure. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.